Well, hello there. Welcome to the Cup TV, part of the Currently Unnamed Podcast Network, where we put the real and the tea in reality, and you can always come here first to quench your thirst. I am Brooke. I am passionate about pop culture, but I am still not passionate about the Challenge All-Stars 5. And it's just been boring, Jack.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. I really don't.
Yeah, we are still praying in the Church of Devon, thank God. But otherwise, it's fine.
We may be praying there, but the sermons are really, really boring.
Yeah, we're doing what we can. Beside the point, I'm not drinking anything. I didn't grab a water because I forgot. And quite frankly, at this point, we're here. Also, buy your cup merch, including but not limited to your cup mug at laundrycreations.etsy.com. That link is in the description down below. We do ship domestically here in the United States, Mexico, and Canada, and internationally. So there are no excuses. I'm looking at you, Malta.
The interesting country to just call out of the blue.
I'm in the Eurovision mood right now.
That'll do it. I was like, the only reason you're picking that up is because of Eurovision, which is significantly more entertaining than this at the moment. Anyway, hi, my name is Jack. I am the resident game designer of the panel, and I mean, we're going from like a 0 on things that happen in this episode to like a 2 out of 100. So, I mean, it could be worse, but yeah, this has just been a very boring same season so far, and there's literally so many ways that they could just hot fix this via format.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way of using this again.
Yeah, this format has been a bit rough this time around. I think it worked a little bit better on 4 when everybody was playing individually. I think because we have so many we only are playing in teams, it doesn't work as well. And I think on top of that too, the big problem is that nobody knows Adam and Steve enough to want to keep them in, and we all know what's going to happen. Spoiler alert here. I mean, if you're watching a recap, you already kind of know that. But we're 4 for 4 and Adam and Steve going into eliminations this season. So we'll see what happens. Before we do, make sure you hit that subscribe button, punch that notification bell, like the video, share the video, do all those things because it helps us spread our disdain for this season of the challenge.
Oh my God.
So we are coming off of last week where Ashley Mitchell, a.k.a. Millionaire Mitchell, a.k.a. Ashley Millionaire, a.k.a. Ashley Goddess, and Anissa went home, once again sent home by Steve and Adam for the 3rd time this season. Somebody's been sent home by Steve and Adam. And it doesn't really seem to impact the house that much. Nobody's really talking about it. It's kind of just like, yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah, I mean, we just kind of have a almost nothing burger segment of just, oh, let's wake up and do things because we have to have something to talk about before the challenge. And I mean, just a bunch of people. I mean, this is their way of shooing in like, oh, you remember this person from a previous season, right?
Yeah, I got jump scared by an appearance by the furniture herself, Casey Clark, and that made me very, very mad. But we also got a fun little note. Apparently, Leroy and Dario are apparently very close, which was something I was unaware of because I don't think if they have been on a season together before, I don't recall it because honestly, I try to block Dario out of my brain to be 100.
That is fair. I will double check as you continue talking. But
yeah, so we found out they're friends, and not only are they friends, they're very good friends. They used to live together. They used to be they're very good friends. And that's not going to set up anything for this episode at all, is it? Yeah, outside of that, not much happens in this little preamble to the episode as expected. So let's just get into the challenge, shall we?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing of note is that from what I could find, they both played together on Dirty 30 and both went relatively far. And then
Oh yeah, they were on Dirty 30, weren't they?
and then technically they were both on Rivals 3. The technically there is that Leroy and Avery were almost immediately medically DQ'd from the game, so they didn't really get to play together.
Correct.
But yes, I mean they have known each other for a decent amount of time. Leroy straight up welcomed him into not New York City, Las Vegas. So they have a very close bond. Small problem. He doesn't really like Devin. So we'll see how that affects things.
All I'm going to say is this. I don't care for Dario. I don't care for Devin, but Dario not liking Devin, that makes me like Dario a little bit more. So God. I don't like either one of them. They're both annoying. So let's go ahead and hop into that challenge. This challenge is Sunday Fun Day. Yay!
This is a challenge.
A challenge that exists. A daily that has occurred. So they come out to a Last Supper style long ass table. And they each have to like squeeze in beside their partner in these tiny little chairs. Much easier for some people than others. We find out it's look, some people complained about it and some people didn't. I did not go into detail, Jack. Thank you. As a plus-size person, I relate. Trust me. This is very much a relatable situation. I feel you. So basically, the challenge is pretty simple. It's basically the newlywed game. One person on each rival's pair is going to be sat at the table, answering a question, an opinion-based question, while their partner is in the back, trying to guess what they're going to guess. If they do not match their answer, they have to pour something nasty into, well, nasty, it doesn't, a bad mix-in into their vanilla milkshake. And then once all the questions have been asked, each group has to chug their milkshake. And the first team to finish their milkshake wins the daily. And not a single There Will Be Blood reference was made in this episode, and that makes me mad.
That is fair, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't like the ending of this.
It felt, this in concept is a really, really good idea. Mm-hmm. I mean, having the classic image of two people drinking from a sundae and then making that sundae gross, and doing a newlywed style game, but all of the answers except the first one are digs at potentially other teams. All of that is good. The mix-ins are
fine.
Nothing except for the last one.
Well, even then, durian is just a smell thing. If you plug your nose, you're fine. Apparently, durian tastes very good. So,
which is what I've been told. Like, it's 100% a smell thing, and they just couldn't plug their nose, which and you're just going to smell from the other teams.
I mean, I also would like to point out they made them all vanilla milkshakes, and I feel like if you would have made it like strawberry milkshake or like a flavored ice cream, that would have probably messed with them a little bit more. Because vanilla is such a, like, there's a reason everyone gets vanilla everything and like vanilla mixes with everything so well, is because vanilla is a wonderful blending flavor. Like, it just blends with a bunch of stuff super well. Throw in some, like, I honestly think if they would have made it like mint chip, imagine that would have been terrible. But
yeah, I mean, my honest thought is that there's probably a dietary restriction on the cast, or maybe 2 or 3, that they looked at and said, we can't do much, ergo we're just going to throw mayo, ketchup, and balsamic vinegar at them, which the worst part is that is nothing. I mean, yes, it doesn't go into a milkshake. Are you telling me that you cannot eat a spoonful of ketchup?
I don't know. I think it'd be a struggle, honestly. Like a spoonful of ketchup.
And I mean, the other part that goes wrong, like 5 teams finish at the same time because you can only drink a milkshake so fast. Like, this is inherently bad. We're just like, yeah, so one person heard start slower. This is literally something that, like, you deal with in sprinting, where you have to make sure that everyone can hear go at the same time. Because I'm sure if one person heard go on one end, probably wasn't the same time at the other end. So, in basically all ways, if they had chosen a bigger thing, or something that was grosser, or had them blend weird ingredients together, that would have made this challenge better. They went way too weak, and the challenge suffered because of it.
Yeah. I will say some of these questions were fun, but everybody kind of copped out for the most part. So we start out with what is your partner's zodiac sign? Okay, it's a good way to get the format established. However, it did lead to one of my favorite moments of the entire episode, where Leroy guesses that Devin is not gets Devin's sign wrong, and then we get my favorite thing that has ever been uttered by Devin Walker on the challenge, which is Aries, you idiot. Which also features, and also to be clear, this is not a misspelling. This is how he spelled Aries. So it's Airs, you idiot, not Aries, you idiot. Thank you, Devin, for finally giving me something to laugh at from one of your appearances on the challenge. I appreciate you for that.
Most I will also call out Turbo's response of like, yeah. So when my friends told me I was a Cancer, horrible thing. Went to the hospital, made sure I was good. Like, of course, Turbo doesn't fucking know astrology.
Yeah, he also misspelled Cancer. He spelled it with an S instead of a C. But honestly,
my guess is that could be genuinely how it's spelled in. My brain isn't working. Turkish. That could just be the romanization of it because C and S are stupid.
I'll be real. I don't even really care. I just think Devin screwing up and then calling Leroy an idiot while he has a misspelling of a 5-letter word is very funny.
Beautiful.
So we then go into the next question, which is, what is the weakest team? Or what would your partner say is the weakest pair of rivals here? Katie and Veronica doing the clever strategy of picking themselves. Good job, Katie and Veronica. Again, Katie Cooley, I love you. Where was the Katie Cooley Challenge University clip this week? Please, I need it.
They get editing budget. Like, barely any. They had to drop it for this episode.
Had this week. But yeah, Katie and Veronica answer themselves. It seems like it's a pretty split thing between Katie and Veronica and Sam and Frank. But some people get it right. Most people get it right. A few teams don't mash up, but it is what it is. We then go into what team is the least trustworthy, and we get a split between Frank and Sam and Leroy and Devin. And then we finally get to what is your rival's biggest weakness. Most of the teams get it right. Also, Nani, I would like to acknowledge you on this day for admitting that you have a weakness with puzzles. Thank you so much. Because if that is not what you wrote on this board, I was about to call you out so hard.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. How many times has Nani lost a final because she can't solve a puzzle? At least 3.
At least 3.
At least 3.
At least 3. It's like not even subtle.
Yeah. I love you, Nani. I am a fan, but maybe get some lessons from Ashley. That's kind of like her thing. Just like you teach Ashley how to, I don't know, make friends. And
right.
I'm sorry. I'm in my I don't give a fuck era today. But regardless, we get to the milkshake chugging. No team made it through completely unscathed. So everybody's got a funny little mix in their blizzard. But it comes down to 5 teams finishing at pretty much the exact same time. So instead of deciding who finished first, we end up weighing the milkshakes.
And then also checking the tapes because
Sure. Because sure. But our winners are Frank and Sam.
I really can't complain about this. This is so good.
I'm thrilled.
I was just so happy to genuinely see Sam go, oh shit, we did it. Okay, good. Fuck. Like, to see the two of them just happy that they did it and are now at least in control, and especially with Frank knowing that he'll actually do something in the game, so much happier.
I mean, I'm thrilled. And also it kind of gives Sam a little bit of that confidence boost of like, you know, I can win a daily if I have to. So that's great. Love seeing that. So yeah, we go back to the house after Frank and Sam win the daily. Not much happens, to be 100% honest, at first. And then a few things do happen. Nicole and Melissa talk to Adam and Steve, and they're pitching the idea of trying to get Nani and Turbo thrown in, because if they get Nani and Turbo thrown in, then Adam and Steve can beat them in elimination. The star is freed up. We don't know what's going to happen with that. Fun fact. But star is now on the table. So good idea. Problem is, no one in this house can keep their mouth shut. Immediately gets back to Nani and Turbo. So we'll see if Melissa and Nicole have to deal with any repercussions from that. But then the big moment of the episode comes. I have been waiting to use this banner all season because we have yet to have a real one. So it's now time for a challenge fight. I really wish we had like that clip. I wish we had that. We don't, unfortunately.
But you can imagine the air horns in your head. It's absolutely worth it.
Yes. So we get into our first challenge fight of the season. Dario pitches that they should try to get Leroy and Devin thrown in against Adam and Steve. Pitches it to Corey Lay. Here is the problem when you talk to Corey Lay. He is a pot stirrer. And what does that mean? He is going to throw anything he hears to the most problematic source that it can go to. Here's that. Yeah. Here's that people want. Here's that Dario wants to send in Leroy and Devin. Okay, bet. Leroy and Devin. Dario is trying to get you thrown into elimination. Clean. It came out of it clean.
Yeah, no, it's just like, hey, so let me make sure I have no votes on me this episode. That didn't work. But let me make sure I have as little votes on me as possible. How can I do? Oh, yeah, just yell at people. And, well, Devin and Leroy, not happy. Leroy, especially pissed because it's Dario who said this. So... Yeah.
Dario's excuse is that, well, if the two of them beat Adam and Steve, then we can send Adam and Steve home because they're the team that has the best chance of beating Adam and Steve. But, like, that's still your friend, though. You know what I mean? Like, that's still your good friend.
Also, I would definitely argue that Nani and Turbo are more likely to beat them than Devin and Leroy, depending on the challenge.
But girl,
it really depends.
There was a puzzle.
Oh, there was a puzzle. You know what? Actually, yeah, no, you're right. It probably was Devin and Leroy that are best there. But, like, granted, Devin and Leroy, Nani and Turbo, because it's right about there.
Yeah, but a puzzle, I don't know. Put this on the point. Yeah.
But maybe
I'm just clowning on Nani today. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So we then get Devin and Dario going at it. Including Dario saying, and I quote, "You want to step up to me, I'll break your jaw," which, sure. Go for it. I'm here for it, I suppose.
Knock out both of you from the game.
Make
Devin, because he can no longer compete.
Let me get Leroy and Ashley K as a duo. Yes, please. I would be sat for that.
It's just like, yeah, so we had to remove 2 of the 4-star duos from the game. What now?
we take their partners and we shove them together into a Frankenstein pairing. That is what we do because that is what I want. But beside the point, we then go to the House vote. And if you know anything about the House vote, you can pretty much guess where this is headed. So for the first time this season, besides Adam and Steve, people are actually voting for teams that are not Adam and Steve.
Yay!
So we get a few votes for Melissa and Nicole because of the whole throw Nani and Turbo in thing. We get votes for Big T and Corey for causing the drama between Dario and Devin, but in reality, that's not why. But of course, at the end of the day, fourth verse, same as the first, second, and third. Adam and Steve are the House vote.
At this point, the song is not only on loop, but the radio is stuck on that song.
You know that one like children's song, like this is the song that never ends.
Yeah. I at this point, I genuinely do not think they're going to have to change that banner until I'd give it like 4 or 5 episodes.
We're 5 episodes in now. I'm just saying, like do they validate parking? Because like it's gonna be here for a bit.
It's gonna be here for a while. Yeah. We're gonna have screen burn-in. It's gonna be bad. But yeah.
So we go see Frank and Sam. They're talking with Leroy and Devin. Leroy and Devin basically pitched, look, we kept you safe and we had the ability to, and we listened to you. We sent in Kellyanne and Sylvia. They went home. Everything worked out for everybody. We just appreciate if you return the favor. And if you do, we're going to consider you our closest allies in this game. We can be super close. We can work together. Everybody get to the final. I mean, it's a good pitch. I'll be honest. Here is the problem. It is a
good pitch.
Here's the problem. Sam and Frank don't have a star yet.
Sam and Frank don't have a star, and also basically everyone agreed that Devin and Leroy are the most untrustworthy group.
Mm-hmm.
And Devin and Leroy have zero connection to Frank and Sam, meaning there's no actual reason why they need to follow through on anything. So, I don't know. I wouldn't take it. I would immediately be suspicious.
I thought there was a real world where they would send in Dario and Ashley here, even if they didn't get as much content. Only because I thought there was a possibility that they would be like, well, we don't really want them to go home, but we want a star anyway, so we're going to send in one of the other star teams, and we're going to see what comes out. But at the end of the day, we go to the jungle, and Leroy and Devin are selected by Frank and Sam to go into the jungle, meaning for the first time this season, we're going to have a different team with stars next week. Yay.
Yay. And it only took us literally having this, just defaulting.
Half a season. It took us half a season.
And we still have the same team that keeps getting thrown in. The only reason shit has changed is because we've now thrown in a second team with a star.
Correct. Leroy and Devin don't really take it too badly, although they do say if they do win, they're going after Frank and Sam, obviously. So our jungle for today is over a barrel. This was fine.
Is this a phrase that I don't know about?
No, it's really
okay. That's what I thought. I was like, "What the fuck? What does this mean?" But yeah, I mean, what it is simply rivals start on opposite sides. Each of them has 9 barrels. They need to a rodeo roll on. Once they get all 9 barrels across, 9 of the 9 barrels that they rolled each have numbers on them, and they need to make a triangle where each of the 4 barrels on each side of the triangle add up to a central same number.
It's a magic triangle puzzle. Yay! I actually do enjoy the magic triangle puzzles. I'm here for that. So importantly, additionally, on top of this, the first team, each partner has their own puzzle that they have to solve. And once they solve theirs, they can go help their partner with the other one. And the first team to finish both of their puzzles will remain in the game, keep their star. Losers will go home. Star, we'll see. So importantly, the second I saw this challenge, the first thing I thought of was Survivor Nicaragua.
Yes.
With my favorite line, one of my favorite Jeff Probst lines of all time, which is Ben redoing the ceremonial loser dismount, which thank you, Jeff Probst, chef's kiss. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate you for that one. But they have a rope. I kind of wish they didn't have a rope. I get why they did.
If they didn't have a rope, we would have been there for like 3 hours.
I wish it would have had to have been like, you can have the rope, but if you use the rope, you have like a penalty or something. I don't know. It would have been fun without it. Yeah. But beside the point, challenge gets going and everybody's relatively keeping pace with each other. Leroy falls behind a tiny bit on the first barrel, but other than that, everyone's keeping up. And then Adam goes. And Adam is going. No breaks.
Oh, yeah.
No pause. He is just boom, 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 and just running, essentially, on this barrel. They're zooming. They make it through really quick. And by the time Adam gets across with his last barrel, they're a full barrel ahead of Leroy and Devin. Which, as you can tell, based on our body language, did end up playing a factor here. So Steve gets across just as Devin, Leroy gets across because Leroy finished first. So just as Leroy gets across and gets to his puzzle, Steve gets across and goes to his puzzle. Devin then pulls up the rear. Steve finishes his puzzle very efficiently. And he goes to help Adam, and I have to think that if they hadn't have been able to help each other, I don't think they would have won this elimination because Adam didn't understand how the puzzle worked.
Yeah, but I mean, we already had Steve, who my honest thought is that he looked at the barrels and probably thought of the solution as he was going and then just kind of threw it together. But yeah, I mean, that's why they're a good team, because Steve can actually do shit. But
I want to be clear.
It's over very fast.
Call Steve for mainline challenge again, because this man is a menace. I don't care how old he is. Like, dude, he's been good at everything. Like, put him on a season of mainline challenge today, and he will still make it to the final. I all but guarantee it. Unless he gets lumbered with a terrible partner. Unless you give him, like, I don't know, who's a terrible partner he could get? Like, Anissa. Like, unless he gets a bad partner, he's going to win. He's going to make it to the end. And I think this season, I mean, by Leroy and Devin.
Another person just thrown into the maw. Like, it's nothing.
Multi-time finalist Leroy going out again but this time before the final again. 0-15 now on the career. R.I.P. Leroy. Devin.
Christ.
He's the one that said it, not me.
Yeah, it's still bad where it's like 15.
0-15. Anissa's record is worse. I think she's 0-21 or 0-20 or something like that.
Yeah, it's something like that. It's
pretty high. Devin, on the other hand, multi-time champion, going home pretty quick. At least for him. So Leroy and Devin, they go back. Not really much happens after they head home. We get a quick little montage of them, and then we end with a stupid like tabloid magazine with their stupid rival name, Devroy, whatever the hell. So Leroy and Devin are out. And then TJ kind of drops a bomb. So because a team with a star has went home, Adam and Steve assume that they get the star and they get to give it to whoever they want, which is how it worked on All Stars 4.
Yeah.
TJ's like, so I'm assuming you all are wondering what's going to happen to the stars. I'll see you all tomorrow. This is the first time I have been interested in this season.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that now it's, okay, you're going to go into the challenge tomorrow. First place gets the star. And if you already have a star, my guess is that then you get to throw it to someone else.
Imagine they go full endurance and it's just like we got eliminated. Okay, we get to will our temple pieces to whoever we want.
God. Oh, I
That's
think
a
that
show
would...
we need to do a refill on at some point. I would love to do a refill on endurance.
Yeah.
I would
especially
love that.
Because like
John
we
A.
have a season with John A on it. Like of all things, somehow that's a season that we can talk
and
about.
also Jonathan from Survivor was on a season of endurance. So yeah, Jonathan, I forget his last name, but Jonathan that was on a few seasons ago with the season Marianne was on. That's my girl.
Wait,
42.
Really?
What?
Oh my God! That's news to me. What?
Yeah, I think he was on Endurance like Hawaii or Endurance Fiji or whatever it was called. But he was on the season of Endurance. So yeah, we need to do Endurance at some point. Beside the point,
we'll do it at some point.
But as we wrap up this episode of the Challenge All-Stars, we do have a bit of an update for our draft. So after this week, I am once again in the lead of the draft. Yay me. Lana losing Leroy and Devin leaves me with 5 teams, Lana with 4. Lana having 2 star holders now, Nani and Turbo and Ashley and Dario. I have Adam and Steve. Again, yay me. Because at this point, who's going to beat them? Who's going to send them home? It ain't going to be anybody here.
It genuinely is going to be they have won that elimination or they win the season.
Yeah, and like even on top of that, the only way I can see them going home, I could see them losing an eating elimination, which they have been known to do on Rivals pretty frequently. But also, the other thing I can see is if Amber and Fessy get sent into elimination with Adam and Steve, or Nani and Turbo, I think those are like the only 2 teams that could reasonably beat them. Because Adam and Steve have, at this point, won a physical puzzle comp challenge, a strategy comp, twice, by the way. And then what was the first elimination? I forget. Besides the point.
I mean...
Oh, the polls.
Yes,
yeah,
which is
and then the raw strength challenge with Sylvia and Kellyanne.
Yeah.
Like, don't know what they're going to fail at.
What they do? And also, they've been like a good shot at most of the dailies.
Yeah.
So like, they don't have a problem with heights. They don't have a problem with like any sort of physicality.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're gonna be here a while.
In before Adam and Steve are your challenge champions. I'm just calling it now. Like, I don't see, like, again, not the outcome I want. Again, we are members of the Church of Devon. We will always root for Mother. But
if a team is going to win that isn't Devon and Shane, they currently should be winning. Like, it's not a question. And we also do have to remember that Steve basically should have won All-Stars 4, but he fucked up in a really bad way at the last second.
Yeah.
So,
and I will never forgive Steve for that, because had he not done that, Laurel will not be a challenge champion again. So thank you for that, Steve.
Oh my God.
Besides the point, thank you so much for joining us today. Let us know how you're feeling about the Challenge All-Stars. What are your feelings about mid? Let us know how you're feeling. Don't forget to buy merch, including but not limited to your cup mug. If you're a Survivor fan, go vote for the stuff for Survivor 50, because, dear Lord, I don't want to see Final Four fire making again.
Yeah, unless you are going to vote to keep Final Four fire making, then stop voting and also stop watching.
Get out. We don't need you here.
We don't need you.
We don't need you here.
That's a straight up fact. Anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you for tuning in, but we're going to have to head out. So, subscribe. Thank you so much. And go ahead and stop watching this video and go watch another video.
Yeah. Go watch our Project 1 Runway. Yeah,
go watch our coverage of the Traders, because the finale is coming up shortly.
The finale is coming up shortly.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Cheers.
Cheers.